Well, today we're going to continue to talk about chronic pain, and today we're going to focus on this idea of self-care. And I have Carrie in the studio again, a mental health professional who works with chronic pain patients a lot and have yourself struggled with chronic pain.
Yep.
So thank you for being here again. So let's talk a little bit more about the self-care piece. What can people do to help themselves through this battle of chronic pain?
One of the things I see a lot with my clients is they want that like magic pill, that one diagnosis that's gonna fix everything and that they're gonna miraculously get better. And I hate to look at them and go, I hate to tell you, it's not gonna happen. There just isn't a cure for that yet. And so there's gonna be a lot of components that come into a lifestyle of chronic pain. I always laugh that my nightstand will never be clean because I have all these different kind of tools and things that will help along the way. So one of the things we can talk about is medication, and that's usually what people link to first. And a lot of people think it's the pain medications that are going to be helpful, but what they're seeing is more of a combination of medications that fall like into the anticonvulsants or antidepressants. And what those drugs do they are helping turn off the nervous system. So you might think, why am I on antidepressants? Well, when you think about, or anti-anxiety, well, when you think about it, it's getting that nervous system to kind of tone down. I would say it's kind of like the Pepto-Bismol of medication. So lots of times people won't understand and they want to go, well, pain, I need pain medication. And lots of times long use of pain medication can make things worse. And it actually can lead to more problems and higher pain levels. Because the thing is, less time our pain doesn't get worse, it just gets better at pain. So it's kind of like water going down a rock. After a while, it's going to dig into that rock. And so we need to get that water to be less of a trickle, pretty much. So another thing is, there's a whole different type of variety of things that you can use that are like, they're referred to as TENS units. And there's also a product called a Quell. And what it does is it sends, it sounds awful, but it sends kind of a current into your system that blocks off the nerve message. And so the Quell is great because you can put it on your leg and it kind of is like a full body TENS unit. And so, and it doesn't have all the cords. That's what kind of, but you see sometimes like athletes will use them for recovery or things like that. But you can actually just get them online now. It used to be that you have to have a prescription, but that's not the case. And so, and you can have them on pretty much all the time. So it's not something that your body can kind of wear out from. The other thing that's really helpful is compression clothing. So one of the things that like in diabetics, they had nerve pain, so they would wear compression clothing. Well, it used to be boring, like tan, not cool stuff. But now you see athletes wearing it all the time, right? And so, I mean, I have a wardrobe of compression clothing, and they're even finding out with athletes that are not even injured that athletes will sleep in it because it helps their recovery so much. And I was actually talking to a track coach. I go, okay, does this really work? And he goes, our kids love like their compression sleeves. And I know for me on bad flare days, it's almost like I have my little casing.
Is it just because
it's that pressure.
Interesting.
And that leads into another thing that's really effective, are weighted blankets. So weighted blankets kind of came out originally for individuals with autism or sensory disorders, and it really worked for anxiety. So you can see it with puppies like during fireworks and they wrap them up, right? And so the same philosophy with people. So I have a full-size weighted blanket, and for me, as I say, it just puts that pressure on, so it really helps kind of bring your nervous system down. It helps with your sleep quality, and you can, I mean, they're much more, they're kind of everywhere now. Mine has Charlie Brown on it because I didn't want it to look like a hospital one, but so you can find people that can make them, but they are really beneficial to help with a lot of different things, even on flare days or in just your sleep quality as well. The other thing is with self-care is one of the things that people don't really pay attention to is body work. And so that can come in a lot of different forms of acupuncture and massage. And some insurances do pay for it, some do not. But I know for me, if I can have a higher quality of life for the 2 weeks in between my massage or whatever, that is definitely going to be worth the money. And it's important to find somebody that, that is meeting what you need and be very communicative of what is going on. The great thing about acupuncture is acupuncture helps kind of almost reset the nervous system. And so lots of times it can be, it can take people very far, especially with migraines. It has great success. And a lot of people freak out about the needles. I get it. But honestly, most of the time, you don't really feel the needles going in. So I think there's a lot of myths around acupuncture, but they found very, very good success, especially with chronic pain. The other thing is setting those limits and boundaries of knowing when enough is enough. And so I know for me being an athlete, enough is never enough. I'm a super high energy person. It's really hard to just stop. But I know for me, when I start feeling that point of you're going to run into a flare, I have to
Right.
stop. So I'm not, as I always joke, I'm not the fun parent
Yeah.
because I can't do quite as much, but I've had to readjust my life around different things. So
Okay.
even my house is set up around kind of having chronic pain, down to my bed. We picked our bed based on how many, if our kids could all fit in it to watch movies.
Right.
But there's things that you have to kind of incorporate of what is my life going to look like, even down to what shoes you wear. Those are going to be things that are important. Some people, it's even with the clothes, just their
Okay,
basic
right.
clothes. So, it's bigger than just I want a pill to fix it. It's going to be a whole lifestyle of things that you're going to need as far as I've got to make these changes. And sometimes we can be really stubborn and we don't want to
Sure.
give in to that's going to be reality, but it is the reality. And, it's that acceptance of, okay, this is what I have. How am I going to lead to the best quality of life
Right.
instead of I'm angry and a doctor can't fix it?
Right. And I think that that's really important to think about, that in self-care, it isn't just go to a medical doctor and take this pill, that
Yeah.
there's so many different things to do, from medication to something like acupuncture, to knowing how to draw boundaries of what you can and can't do, comfort, like you're saying, even the clothes you wear or the blankets, like it's a multifaceted approach, it sounds like.
It is, and I even laugh because I have two dogs that, my children would say are my favorite children. But even for them, there's all this research that dogs lower anxiety, right? So I know even on bad
Having
pain
a
days,
pet.
my dogs will be right next to me and they bring down that anxiety level too, or just the stress level. It's really hard to be stressed out when you're petting a golden retriever.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
And so I'm even those things of,
Okay.
surrounding yourself with things like you say that bring comfort and drop that anxiety level. And the other the big thing too is positive distractions. And this is probably my biggest
Okay.
thing. So I have a million hobbies. Why? Because I'm always looking to fill my life with, hey, what can I do that's a positive distraction instead of I just want to, I'm just sitting here kind
Wallow
of
in
wallowing
this.
and struggling instead of, okay, yep, I am not feeling good today, but maybe I can go through all my pictures to do photo albums.
Got it.
Or maybe I can do this one thing why I'm struggling, and those things will take your mind off of your pain. It's been interesting with kiddos. So many parents want to go, how's your pain? How's your pain? And adults too. And usually if you do that to somebody with chronic pain, if their brain has gotten to be pulled away, you pull them right back.
I see.
And so that's why I say the more positive distractions you can have,
Good.
that's also a major benefit of self-care.
That's good. And we're going to talk in the next video. We're going to give help to parents and caregivers to know how to better handle or deal with or help the people that in their life that struggle with chronic pain. But this was good today. I hope that you guys, as you're listening to these videos, are really taking into account this idea that chronic pain is multifaceted. There's different ways to view it. There's different ways to get help for it. But what our hope is that you are going through these videos with someone in your life. Use those questions, have a conversation about this for your own understanding or in understanding someone in your life that battles chronic pain. Because the good news is there are things you can do towards self-care. So we hope this video was helpful to you. Join us in the next video. We'll see you then.